hi, Janice.
Hi, Brent. I have a question for you.
For me?
For you.
Okay.
I hear you do a really amazing impression of Patrick Stewart. Can we prevail upon you to do it?
Can you imagine really how irritated with me he must be? I mean, I'm sure he sees these videos that you're taking right now, and I don't think I sound like that at all. No, you know my latest thing? I do Patrick Stewart. I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, Ian McKellen. Ian, say a few words. Well, Patrick, thank you for that.
That's good.
And this is my good friend, Patrick, Dame Judi Dench. Judy, thank you, Ian.
That's stunning.
Yeah.
Wow.
I keep them all the Brits, all the sirs and dames. Yeah.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, Eric. Hi. I had a question for Mr. Burton. I want to know your thoughts and feelings as an actor about the Geordie LaForge on the Leia Brahms situation. I.e., Geordie falls in love with a holodeck creation, then awkwardly meets the real thing. Because I think it's a very important part of the Star Trek lore, and the show sweeps it under the rug in a way. It's like, oh, that's a bit of ugliness. But you play it in a very real way in the show, and I think it's one of the only times in Star Trek where there's a real human emotion there that's not larger than life or epic. It's kind of negative, but I think it's important to show that in TV too. That's what I
wanted. Tears, I see tears.
Yes, that happened.
Yeah.
Geordie was a creeper.
It's okay.
You know, I didn't think much of it at the time, because, I don't know, she was hot. Susan Gibney is a terrific actor. And I loved playing opposite her. It wasn't until years later when it was pointed out to me how inappropriate some of the decisions Geordie made were, and
I was desperate, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna blame it on the writers. Right? Same ones who insisted that he be celibate. Yeah.
How great was it to get the visor off when you went to the movies?
So great. So great.
Because, Brent, you wearing the makeup all day, Jerry with the prosthetics, and Lamar wearing that. I mean, how comfortable was it filming all day long? Did you have times where you were able to get out? I mean, you couldn't wash that makeup off.
Couldn't.
No, it was horrible. It really was. It was I told you what the best part of playing Data was. The worst part was being in that makeup 16 hours a day with contacts that I couldn't take out because my hands were painted. I couldn't take them out. So I had this makeup that was a base makeup, regular base makeup, and then gold powder was packed onto my face, make it really smooth. And about, I don't know, an hour into the day, the makeup got into my eyes and smeared over the contacts, so I couldn't see anything. And I realized it kind of informed the character in a lot of ways, because you remember Data would go, "We're trying to see."
And how hard was it to see out of that visor walking around?
It was not easy. It wasn't. What?
Never walking
What?
I remembered a moment just now.
What?
Myrtle Roddenberry was doing the show. She played Waxana Troy. She was Gene Roddenberry's wife. She was a very flamboyant woman and a very flamboyant actress as well. And there was a party scene, and she took a glass of something, some liquid, and she was gesturing, and she threw the drink over her shoulder, and it hit him right in the face. He didn't see it coming at all. You didn't think it was funny, I remember.
I didn't think that was funny, no, not so much.
No, my makeup, the normal makeup that I got to wear was easy because the pieces just went on like stickers. It was the Borg makeup that was a nightmare. And the first day on set, it was a scene on the bridge. And I had a laser over one eye, so you can't see. Never occurred to me that when you have one eye covered, you have no depth perception. It's my first time on this set, and there's steps all over the damn bridge. And it's silver metal with the little lines, so you can't really see them that well anyway if you don't know they're there. And so literally, I'm trying to look so serious as, you know, the board with and I'm tripping, and it was a mess. It was a mess. And nobody bothered to go, oh, there's a step there. Sorry.
We got time for another. What's your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Wilbur. I got a billion questions for everybody, but just a little two-parter for Jerry. I was actually a big fan of Trek, of course, but Boston Legal as well. What was it like working with Bill Shatner and James Spader? And then the second part of that, in the episode that you're in, you shoot a paparazzo. Was that...
I did, didn't I?
Was that cathartic?
Yeah, I suppose it kind of was, but you know, Bill's a character, and he's a lot of fun, and James Spader's a great guy too, and they're both so talented. But yeah, that was the first time that I'd ever actually worked with Bill. In fact, I'm trying to remember, it might have been the first time I'd actually met him in person. I don't remember if I'd met him at a convention before that. I don't think so. But Bill is a force of nature. I don't know if any of you have been at a convention and met Bill.
He's been here.
He is hilarious. He's brilliant. Slightly insane, I think. But he is a force of nature. So it was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Okay, one more here.
Hey. She can't reach it.
Somebody help her get that mic.
Hi. Were you scared on your first episode?
You know what? I was scared for everyone else.
Yes, I was very scared for my first episode because I was the new kid. Everybody else had been there for 3 years, working together all the time. And they all knew each other, and they knew everything about the characters, and everything about it was new for me, and pretty scary. And I had a laser over one eye, so I couldn't really see very well.
I was such a huge fan of the original Star Trek series. I don't think I was scared so much as I was just overwhelmingly excited.
Were you scared at all about, like, oh my God, this is the first time Star Trek's been on television in 20 years?
No, that didn't.
You weren't worried about,
that didn't
like,
bother me at all.
maintaining the legacy or anything like
thought,
that?
you know what? If Gene Roddenberry's involved, then that's all we really need.
How much contact did you have with Mr. Roddenberry on a daily basis?
We had quite a bit.
Yeah,
he cast us.
Yeah.
And we saw him a lot for the first couple of years until he got sick and we didn't see him for a while. But yeah, he was.
And we'd all go to lunch with him.
Yeah, we'd go to lunch and he'd have us to his house.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was kind of amazing knowing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more here. I keep saying that, but we'll do one more here.
So I have a real question and I have a Star Trek question.
What?
I'm kidding. So my Star Trek question is, would you ever, like on set, would anybody ever refer to your character jokingly as Data?
No. Well, I mean, that happened in the show once. Dr. Pulaski called me Data, and I said, my name is Data. And she said, Data, Data, what's the difference? And I said, one is my name, the other is not. And, but you know how the pronunciation of Data came because we had a meeting right off the bat. Gene called a meeting. We were at the Sheraton Hotel in a ballroom, in a office room, and we were all up around a big table, and we were going to read through the script for the first time. And Patrick started, whatever, and it got to my character, and he said, Data. And I went, wait, I'm sorry, can we stop? I went, is it Data? I thought it was Data. And Gene, at that point, made a ruling that whoever says any of the words on the show first, that's the way it's pronounced. And so that's how I became Deja. And that held, by the way, all through the series. Whoever...
Bull,
What?
bull,
What?
and bull.
What?
Until,
Really?
again, Poe's the new kid.
Yeah.
Because they get on the set, and on my first day of shooting, I've got the line "resistance is futile." And the only thing that I knew about the Borg was they had given me first contact to watch, and said, "But we're not doing that. Don't do
Right.
that. We're not this." And they gave me the Locutus episode, but don't do that because we're not doing that either. And you're not as free as the Borg Queen, but you're not a typical Borg, a drone. So we're making something new. I said, "Okay," but always it's resistance is futile. That's the voice of the collective. So we get on set, and I said, "No, I'm supposed to say futile, right?" And I said, "Oh no, that's just because Patrick was British."
Well, you know what they
I
did?
was like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, you just say futile. I'm like, "Okay." The only Borg drone who said futile. It's a hive mind. The collective said futile. I was like, "Guys, whoever says it first." There you go.
Well, Gene was gone by then. But I said resistance is futile also. Yeah, but not on the series, but in First Contact, the movie. And yeah, and I had the same, I said, "Shouldn't I be saying futile?" And Rick said, no, it's futile. All right, yeah.
Solidarity, baby.
Yeah.
How difficult was some of the techno babble, learning all that stuff, and because when I was fortunate enough to watch you perform on set all those years ago, I just could not believe that you could remember all this dialogue with all these complex terms. How do you do it? How long does it take you to memorize something like that?
It's real. You're not real. Oh, it's impossible. It's horrible.
It's like speaking in a foreign language because you just have to memorize it syllabically.
Yeah, it's like reading a phone book. And after a 16-hour day, and then you go home and you open it up and you've got pages and pages of dialogue that doesn't mean anything. It's really difficult.
I mean, take us through, what was it like shooting episodic television? You just mentioned you work 16 hours a day, and then you've got to run lines all night long. I mean, you have literally, what, a couple hours of sleep a day, and that's it?
Really, very little. I used to make a rule with myself that if I couldn't say it out loud perfectly one time, I wouldn't go to sleep.
Oh,
and
God.
yeah, and because it would save me a lot of time on the set. Because they were rolling. There's a lot of money going on, and you got to get it right.
What was it like making the jump? Because on Next Generation, the series ended and boom, rolled right into the first motion picture. Was there any downtime between filming the last episodes and going right into the movie?
A couple weeks, wasn't it?
I had one day between my last day on the series and my first day on the movie.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah.
Were you happy with the way it ended, with Nemesis, being the final installment?
Well, I know all the fans were happy with it.
Or, upon watching it, was it not the movie you'd hoped it had been? Or you were okay with it?
That's always true. I mean, you always want it to be better than it is, even if it's good. But yeah, I think it could have certainly been better. But that's not the reason the fans don't embrace it so much. It was the death of this very popular character, no names, that really upset everybody. But the fact is, we had a contingency plan if we'd come back again. So he, is Data really dead? That's the question. And thanks to the fans, we never came back. Well, nobody came to see the movie, so. Paramount in their wisdom went, "Should we throw away a lot more money?" And they said, "No, let's don't."
I've just been given a sign. One more question. This is the last question of the night. So, hi, what's your